Detective Elizabeth Jones," he said with a wink as he pushed on the door. "You'd better get used to being just Liz from now on." The door closed behind Miles, leaving Liz alone in the empty, sterile corridor. She looked down at the cactus, knowing she would like being just Liz very much. Deciding she was not in the mood for cake after all, Liz grabbed her small box of things from her office and headed for the front desk. On the way, she made sure to pass the memorial wall. She looked at the most recent edition and smiled at the portrait of the handsome man with the strong jawline. Even now, it still made her stomach flutter. "Goodbye, Lewis," Liz whispered, kissing her fingers and resting them on his lips. "I promise I'll try and have a good life." Liz allowed one tear to slip out before quickly wiping it away. Turning on her heels, she straightened her back and headed for the front door. With her box of memories and her new cactus, she walked into the bright sunlight, ready for her new adventure. Chapter 1. "That's the last of it," the removal man gestured towards his now empty white van, wiping the sweat from his red forehead. "I can handle the rest," Liz said, pulling the agreed fee from her small black purse. "Thank you." The plump man climbed back into his van and started the engine. He gave Liz a small nod before setting off and rounding the corner out of view. Sensing the sweat running down her face, she pulled a small compact from her bag. Her pale eyes stared back at her, looking all the greener thanks to her bright red cheeks. She attempted to smooth down the flyaway hairs that had snuck out of her low-hanging bushy ponytail. Deciding it was a lost cause, she tossed her mirror back into her bag. Shielding her eyes from the bright morning sun, she looked up at the small flat above a pale green shop, which was to become her new home. She turned and took in her surroundings as the people of Scarlet Cove went about their daily routines. Her flat was in the middle of a small row of businesses, facing in towards a stone town square, which appeared to be playing host to a market. There was a bustling pub to her left, with two more rows of businesses boxing them in on either side. Winding streets leaked away from the square, some edging up the steep hill of oddly positioned multicoloured buildings poking out of the vibrant trees, and some falling down towards the sea. It looked exactly like the beautiful pictures she had fallen in love with. Liz slid her phone out of her jeans pocket, itching to look at those stunning pictures again, but a small man with a bulbous nose wobbled towards her with a welcoming smile and an outstretched hand. "You must be Elizabeth," the elderly man remarked with a chuckle as he beamed up at her. "Bob Slinger is the name. I'm your new landlord." Bob rocked back and forth, his wide smile growing as though this was the most exciting moment of his life. With his round belly and crimson nose, he looked like a beardless Santa Claus, but his stature reminded Liz more of an elf. "People call me Liz." She pushed her phone back into her pocket to accept the man's hand. "It's nice to meet you." To Liz's surprise, the little man had more than a handshake in mind. He yanked her down into a tight hug, his palm heartily slapping her back. Liz was taller than most women, but her new landlord made her feel like a giant. "Welcome to Scarlet Cove," he cried in her ear as he finally pulled away. "I suppose you'll be wanting your keys. This one is for the shop and this one is for your flat. I hope you like our little town." Bob thrust the two keys into her fist, one brass and one silver. He grinned up at her for what felt like a lifetime before finally letting go and turning to walk away. He only managed 2 steps before spinning on his heels, his finger in the air. "Is this all of your stuff?" Bob asked as he cast an eye at the small pile of boxes, one of which was almost taller than him. "You certainly travel light." "I wanted a real fresh start." She exhaled and looked over the things she had selected to bring with her on her new adventure. "I have all new furniture arriving soon." "Flat pack?" "Unfortunately." "Then I don't envy how you're going to spend your evening." Bob winked and leaned in. "I have a rather mighty power drill if you'd like to borrow it. Might make the job easier." "That would be great," Liz said, her mind wandering to the cheap, rather pathetic screwdrivers buried in one of the boxes. "Only if you don't mind." "Not at all," he exclaimed, before letting out a jovial chuckle.